Kowalski, analysis on the podcast for DreamWorks episode Madagascar.
San Diego.
Why are you white?
That ain't gonna fly.
This is already going so horribly. Okay.
Can you start a cold opening? No, but Phil can. Phil?
This cold opening is on the Jersey side of the podcast.
Well, this sucks.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 10 of Living The DreamWorks, where we review. I think we're almost a quarter of the way there.
He's almost a quarter of the way there.
Thank you for doing it on cue as well. I'm the Wash.
I'm Random Bystander here reporting for duty, and you didn't see anything.
And I am San Diego. I'm Claire.
Wow, they look real. Alright, and today we are talking about the 10th animated DreamWorks film, 2005's Madagascar.
There are things to talk about with this movie, but going into it, the thing you have to ask yourself is because 2 movies ago we watched Shrek 2. 1 movie ago we watched Shark Tale. Where do you go specifically from those 2 movies back to back?
Exactly. You go with Madagascar.
You go with Madagascar, exactly.
And they went.
They sure did. I'm gonna make podcast history. I think I did this with The Incredibles, I don't know, but can I go first for the history?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh,
so, little puppy Claire, right? She saw a lot of movies in her day. I watched Toy Story a million times. I watched Monsters, Inc. a million times. Even outside of Pixar, Cat in the Hat, stuff like that. There's a lot of movies that I watched a lot of shows that I watched a lot. And it's always something that I've, subconsciously remembered, but for the sake of the podcast, I don't know what it was. But, when this movie started, I was like, this movie was my everything for, a year. There were just moments where I was, the dialogue, as they were saying it, I'm, saying it out loud with them. I remember this. I remembered so much about Madagascar because I've seen it so many times. And without giving away what my actual thoughts are, I think this is the kind of movie where if you're a kid, an older kid, still a kid, but an older kid, this movie will be your everything. Golly gee, that was quick, but really just my history with Madagascar is that I've seen it so many times. Times. I haven't seen it since, but in that year, I must have watched it at least 5 or 6 times.
I think I saw this movie in the theaters. I do not remember, but I can totally see my parents taking me this. I have definitely seen this in class multiple times. But yeah, I liked the movie a lot. I thought it was funny. I definitely watched it multiple times. But my biggest experience with Madagascar is probably not with the movie itself.
Is it the game?
It's the game.
Oh my god, I played the game so much too.
There were 3 games I rented in Hollywood video stores. And the first one I wanted to rent was Madagascar game because of the film, and they didn't have it in stock, and I cried as a kid. But instead,
I can't play mini golf.
I can't play as Alex the Lion fighting a zookeeper boss. But instead, they gave me instead my parents let me rent a game called, I don't know, you may have heard of it, Sly 2, Band of Thieves. Nothing too special.
Yeah,
but
I like the Madagascar video game.
After becoming a Cooper fan, eventually I became. It was in stock, and I did get it, and I played it a lot. Not as good as Slide 2, but still, I beat it. And I don't own it anymore, sadly, but maybe one day. Because I remember 3 games, and it was Madagascar, Slide 2 Band of Thieves, and Amazing Island. The third nobody knows about. That's another story. And I watched a movie, I watched a lot, then I entered my DreamWorks sucks phase.
Oh yeah.
And I never really watched Madagascar again. Shrek, I learned to be like, oh, Shrek is cool, but Madagascar was always the, like, even though it was funny, like, I didn't want to watch any others. Like, I haven't seen the sequels. I wasn't super into it, but like you said, this movie did come out at the right time for us. It really did.
Oh yeah.
Because it came out at a time where we were into it, and I like you said, that year I did really like it a lot. Maybe even 2 years. But
wow,
that's my history with it. It's the game.
2 years. If you had a year for every penguin, you'd be halfway there.
I know. Also, wait, one more thing.
Okay.
There was a level in the game where you like had to escort the lemurs through like through a field while the Fusa will attack you, and then if you fail, the Fusa will just grab them off screen, and it's so fucking dark. And then I remember losing on purpose, and then being like, "Wow, I swear we had a lot more people back then." Oh well.
Oh my god! I mean, that sounds like King Julian. Honestly,
it's so dark.
No, I always remember the cutscene where, to wake somebody out of a trance, Melman specifically had to kiss somebody, and he did it, but like they cut to a black screen and they like censored it. And Kid Me was like, "That's so adult."
I just remember the mini golf.
We all remember one different thing about the video game.
Hey,
I don't even remember playing like the actual game. I only remember mini golf. I was trying to like think back to like when I would have seen the teaser trailer, because I remember when I first saw it, I was like, "This is so weird." Like, there's no. Do you remember the teaser trailer? Where it's like it's Ben Stiller.
Yeah,
just explaining to you what the movie is gonna be.
He literally has a globe and be like, "There's Madagascar right there."
No, he makes like a joke. It's like, if you want to know where Madagascar is, you go down like 14th Street and you go east, and then you just keep going east until you get to this island called Madagascar. Like, it has this, like, he's just so dry and sarcastic throughout the whole thing, and like Kid Me, I was like, what is this? This is fucking weird. Like, when the trailer come out, did they have like no footage? And so
probably not.
And so they said, Ben Stiller, please just get in front of the camera. Tell them there's gonna be Chris Rock and David Schwimmer and Jada Pinkett Smith, and then they'll buy into the film. And then the later experience I had is I specifically remember Nickelodeon had this, like, it made like a big event at over Madagascar, and knowing in the future that they're going to make it into a show, which probably was the point. But I specifically remember that they did an event where it said, watch the first 10 minutes of Madagascar on TV. Like, before the movie comes out.
Yeah, I remember that too.
I was, oh shit! This, and like, I remember I specifically remember like just watching that and it's just like, oh my god, it's Madagascar!
Wow.
Madagascar yet, but it is Madagascar. Pretty sure I saw the movie in theaters. Probably saw it a few times on like cable and stuff. Like, I definitely remember this like showing up on like Cartoon Network a few times. But aside from that, it's one of the things that was like, I remember it a lot as a kid. It's not something that has like the deep impact that like Shrek 2 does. But that's pretty much all I can say for now.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Madagascar.
So that's Madagascar.
Can I start off the conversation by saying that this movie gets better when they're actually in Madagascar? Like I feel, I know it's like it's gonna feel like a jumping off, but I feel like that first 15 minutes or so, I guess like once they get out of the zoo, it gets more interesting because like for so long it's like the jokes aren't very good. And it's just that same sort of like, I'm nobody. I want to be somebody.
Wow, we gotta take notes from Shark Tale, people.
Yes. I don't know. I feel like
not only that, but it's like the animation is like stiff, and the sound mixing is weird. Like it feels like TV sound mixing, not like film. I was just so confused on what was happening. But like once they like get out, it gets a lot better. But it's a pretty rough start for me.
I wouldn't go as far as saying when they get to the island, because I would say when they get out of the zoo, yeah, you can make an argument there, but because you do have like you do have the jokes of like Marty roaming around Times Square talking to the horse and the ice skating rink. You have like the old lady beating the crap out of Alex.
The old lady.
Bad kitty.
What I don't know what that do?
Give a guy a break. His voice acting is wonderful in this game. I mean, movie.
We're not playing the game, Random.
I'm sorry. They throw a lot of jokes at you in this. I remember the first teaser trailer I saw for this was the scene when they're all in boxes, and that was like the first scene I saw.
That's like, they show that scene off, and like that right away would just be like, oh, this looks really good.
Yeah,
like I said, like when they like get away from like the zoo in New York, and it's like, you know, it's hit and miss, mostly misses for me, but like that scene, like it's structured like a Sunday comic. It's a simple scene that like shows all the different character dynamics, and it's neat. I liked it. Especially like Melman just being like upside down.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I do really want to talk about the animation in general, but I love when you have long characters that like, I mean, they can move, right? But because this movie is so cartoony and slapsticky, like they have to be moving fast. But because they're long, their existence is suffering. Oh my god. Okay. So when they're in the zoo, okay, how's this? I agree with you. I think that's the least good part of the movie. I agree with that. I think Melman is a lot of fun during those moments. I like Alex's energy, and the penguins are there. So the zoo stuff is like hit and miss for me as well. More misses. I'm sorry, more hits for me compared to you. I am, however, totally with Random when they're on the streets going to the Connecticut Zoo or whatever Melman had bought up. Like when they're going there, lots of great slapstick, lots of great jokes. I love so much when they're walking in the street. Nobody bats an eye. They're like, oh, there's our zoo animals. Okay. But when they're on the subway, people are like, ah! They're freaked out.
And they're just having a normal conversation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, but like on the street, it's like nobody cares.
Yeah.
It's a zebra.
Yeah, it's a zebra. He's not going to hurt anyone. A fucking lion? That's different.
But I do also love, like, I mean, I acknowledge that, like, you know, it's shallow, but just the slapstick of it makes me laugh so hard. When they run into Times Square, everyone else is normal, but because Melman's existence is suffering, he rams his head into the clock and he breaks it, and like his head is the clock. And then when everybody's arguing, he runs up to them and he goes, "You guys, we ran out of time." Although, if the turnaround moment for me, like the box is great, but the animal control guy shoots Alex, he falls asleep, weird montage plays. He wakes up, he hears the news reporter talking about how they're going to send them back to the zoo. Ah, he's awake! Everybody freaks out, they shoot him again. Same montage at like 5 times speed. That happened, and I'm like, this is what's leading up to B-movie humor. Oh my god.
I was about to say, this is perfect meme humor.
Yeah, this movie, that's what it is to me. Like, I mean, a lot of scenes I've caught on in meme culture, don't get me wrong, but like, if this movie came out like 5 years later, I think it would have it wouldn't just be like the penguins and that one scene with Melman that he says white people in San Diego. like so much of this movie seems like it fits perfectly with meme culture.
It does.
A big part of that is the animation, and I really want to talk about it. But
yeah.
I want to talk so much about the animation that I kind of want to save that too.
Yeah, honestly, that's kind of why I'm saying like we'll talk about it later, just because it's such a big thing, especially after Shrek and Shark Tale. I really want to save it for later.
Oh my god! After watching Shark Tale, holy shit! It bleached my eyes.
Okay, actually, here's a question, because I think this is actually a very good middle ground between Shrek and Shark Tale, more than anything else. You want to just get the songs out of the way now?
Oh yeah, that's right.
There are songs.
I forgot
song because like after Shrek, like they just went like full speed ahead on pop songs.
I think they're better here than in Shark Tale. I want to say that to start.
Yes, but they're still not too memorable.
So, this is why I think they're a great middle ground. Like, there's some songs, like, I vividly remember What a Wonderful World. I vividly remember Da-na-na-na-na. Like, there's... I remember these.
Sugar, honey, iced tea.
Yeah, like, I remember these. They're fun. But the ones that I don't remember, it's like, you're never going to remind me what they are.
I remember one pop song that you didn't mention that was forced in our head because of the marketing.
Oh, yeah.
I like to move it. That's...
Got it. But it's like right off the bat, like the very first thing we hear is Born.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, Random got it.
That doesn't happen till 3.
I know. I wanted to get that out of the way.
Okay.
Like right off the bat, like the very first thing you hear, like before the movie even like starts, like when we're still having like the DreamWorks logo, like the first thing we hear is like "Born Free," and it's like right off the bat, it's just like being like straight and blunt about what kind of story this is gonna be.
Yeah.
There's like Staying Alive during the Manhattan montage, which is like blah. Hawaii 5-0, Chariots of Fire is the one you're thinking of there. Na 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 na. They're just kind of, they don't have that same impact that Shrek does.
Definitely worse than Shrek, definitely.
Yeah. I still think I like the movie.
New York is probably like the worst. Honestly, the way it's implemented, it just doesn't feel good at all.
Yeah, it's used more as a plot point too.
And that's what makes it worse. It just doesn't sound good. They're not doing it. They're not doing a good job of it.
I mean,
what are you gonna say?
What are you gonna get? Frank Sinatra as like a horse to sing it? No.
Oh my god.
I don't know. Oh, you know what? Funny that the original pitch for Madagascar was going to be a Beatles movie with the penguins as the Fab Four. And this was like back in the 90s they had this idea, and then they couldn't get the rights for the Beatles songs, so they had to. But they're like, oh, we still like these penguins.
Oh yeah, like, I mean, the penguins we also have to talk about, but we'll save.
That's part of why like the penguins are like the most developed part of the whole movie.
Of course, yes, of course.
It's the part that people cared the most about.
So much so that they're in every sequel, I think. Yes, every sequel, and have their own spin-off movies.
They have their own spin-off movie, they have their own spin-off show. There's just people like make memes about them all the time.
Yeah,
but,
there's definitely a reason why everybody remembers the penguins, definitely.
Again, the memorable songs for me are I like to move it because, of course, it's 1, marketing, and 2, King Julian and the Lemurs, and What a Wonderful World, because it's just, I don't know what, that one sticks with me because of just the contrast of it.
Yeah, so like, I like it. I like A Wonderful World too, mostly because, I mean, it's very obviously like, you know, the low point of the movie in terms of the characters. They're at their low point. It's cracking jokes still, but it is, like you just said, in contrast with, like, you know, this, again, them at their lowest, the sad music playing in the background, but then you get things like, oh, we have to protect this duck, let's bring it to the lake. Crunch.
It takes the moping and doping after the misunderstanding trope by 1, making it actually serious.
Well, Act 3 breakup, I don't want to be a nitpick Nancy, but I'm going to be, because it's not really a misunderstanding, it's the Act 3 breakup, like. Yeah. If it was a misunderstanding, I'm glad that for both Alex and Marty, the stakes are laid like stakes are laid perfect are laid like perfectly. You know, Alex knows I don't want to eat my best friend. Marty's like, I don't want to get eaten. There's no like, oh well, Alex is doing this because he's a wild animal, and then like Marty goes, "You're a wild animal." Pain. It's literally like, oh my god, I'm a wild animal. No, you might like come back. Almost eats him, runs away. What have I done? Like it's I think this movie, I don't want to say that it's not emotional, but we'll talk about the animation later. But it plays a big part in just making the movie feel like more fun than it is, I guess. So when it does get to like the end, before the climax, with the Act 3 breakup, the low point, I was kind of surprised that it's like it didn't fall apart. It was actually really effective for me.
Yeah, it works. And the cool thing is, unlike the moping and doping of a lot of things, where it's just characters just acting depressed and looking depressed.
Yeah,
Madagascar's like, let's make this funny. Let's make this funny.
I think the fact that it's serviceable and still funny is enough. Just because, like, I mean, like Shrek 1 didn't get this right, you know?
Yeah. Like, Shrek 1 took it seriously. Shrek 2 took it seriously. Yeah. This laughs at that.
Yeah. This movie's just like, you know, we're here to make jokes.
Yeah.
And it's sad. I do find it a bit sad that's kind of it. That the only characters, the only two of the four that have really any purpose are like Alex and Marty, because like the other two have like not much to do in the film, especially Gloria.
Yeah,
Gloria, I definitely. So I agree with you on both of them, but like I can't say I have an issue with Millman. Like, I mean, we could talk about characters.
Well, I don't have a problem with him like comedically.
Yeah, I know, but like that's what I'm saying. Like, it's okay because I was laughing so much. And it's so weird because, I mean, in the moment, I wasn't thinking this, but like, I was thinking about the movie and I'm like, why am I laughing at him? And I'm like, God, Woody Allen is so annoying in Ants. Like, why am I thinking like this? And I mean, just a simple fact of the matter is that it's like, one, he's not the main character. Two, just think he's funny.
Yeah.
I think it helped that he's like actually funny.
Yeah, like I know I said it like 5 times already, and it could just be the meme. I don't know, but when he said San Diego, like I just lost it. I lost it.
But I'll talk about that later.
San Diego.
It had to be like the timing of it. It just had to be the timing.
It's also the fact that like Melman, whether they like it or not, he's the brains of the group. He is. He's the one who's like, where do we go? Oh, you're going here. You should take Lexington. Melman, all right, we should take Lexington. he in the city, he knows what he's talking about. Yeah. So when they say it's San Diego, they all believe him for a while until Julian tells them it's the Wild. Yes.
Although, God, I want to talk about Melman. So okay, well, what can we talk about next? Because I was going to talk about one of my favorite jokes from when they're in the boxes, but I'm sure that's a scene we want to save too. So what do you want to talk about next?
Do we want to talk about characters
why not?
Yeah, sure.
Should we start with Alex or Marty?
Like, I overall like Marty better, but like, trying to figure out like what it is like that is just like something about like Alex just kind of fell a bit flat for me.
See, I'm kind of the opposite.
Yeah, like I'm kind of how I feel is that like Marty is a likable character. Alex is the protagonist because he grows in the story.
Here is something that I actually really love about this movie. Like putting the jokes aside, it is very clear in Act 1 and for even a lot of like Act 2, it's framed with Marty as the main character. But as the movie changes and the setting changes, it evolves into Alex becoming the main character.
Yes.
And like by the end of the film, it's very clear Alex is the main character. It's his arc, etc., etc. But Alex is still important throughout the whole movie, but it starts because Marty's the one driving the plot, and it shifts. And I don't see enough movies do that.
Marty gets exactly what he wants.
Yeah.
Like, there's like no problem for Madagascar for him. Like, this is exactly what he needed. And Alex is still, he still really likes steak. He still wants the damn steak.
Yeah. No, although, this is another thing I really, if we're going to talk about Alex and Marty, one of the things that I really, really like, is when Gloria and Melman go to Marty's shed, and they're hanging out there. Marty goes to him and says, we'd love to have you here, blah, blah, blah. They go over, and the three of them are having a great time, and Alex tries to have a great time, but it's very clear that, especially when they were eating the seaweed, and the three of them are like, oh, this is delicious, and Alex can't stand it, but he's just trying to be nice, so he says, oh, yeah, it's great. Like, really subtle, honestly, in a way that it's like, oh, yeah, no, like, the diet, that's gonna be the problem here. These three are animals that can get away with eating this kind of food. Alex needs meat. He's a lion. Yep. He needs meat.
I found out it's like very specifically like it's the term is like hyper carnivore, like has to eat meat.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, he's literally fed steak like every day. Not only is he just like regularly addicted to it, but it's the kind of animals they are.
And it's also like because he's in that pampered environment that like to him like steak is steak. So he doesn't. It's only when he's in like absolute desperation, like hasn't eaten in 2 days, that he realizes my friends are steak.
You're all steak.
You're all steak.
You're all steak.
American Beauty steak.
Well, I'm glad you caught that. Yeah, I know.
To be fair, I didn't. I was watching this on Amazon, and I happened to move my mouse at the right time. I was like, this is a reference to American Beauty. I'm like, fucking really?
Yeah,
in a kid's film?
Yes, it's the roses scene from.
Yes, I know.
From American Beauty. It's one of many like odd references.
They're sprinkled all over, from the lemur shouting, "It's a cookbook! It's a cookbook!" to the most well-known one.
The one,
you maniac!
And like the joke like landed so poorly, even like Melman's like, can we go to the fun side now?
Yeah. yes. I was just gonna say that, like, the darn you all to heck, like, did nothing for me, but then Melman's there.
Yeah, exactly. They're just kind of like rolling their eyes at that.
Yeah, like, even the characters are like, this isn't that funny.
Yeah.
I almost punched my desk for the sake of the joke. But yeah, there's tons of references, and if I let Amazon tell me more, I probably could find more.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
oh yeah, there's all over. Like I wrote down like a few of them, but like It's a Cookbook just came out of nowhere too.
It really did.
It really did.
Like, at least You Maniac is kind of forced too. I'll be honest with
Melman's
you.
there. But Melman's there.
Most forced.
Yeah. But I think the joke it was supposed to be forced. Because of Melman's. Can we go to the fun side now? The others are like musical or not as bad. Speaking of forced references, where are you Giants from? We're from New York. All hail the New York Giants!
New York Giants!
And then they made a joke again later on. It's like, oh.
I feel like this is my first time watching this movie with like closed captioning, because there's just so many of those jokes that I just did not catch my first time around.
Yeah, oh my god.
There's so freaking many of them. Like, I did not cast Sugar Honey Iced Tea.
No, I didn't either.
No, even when because that was one of the things where it's like, I mean, I had already seen Shrek, so I had my rite of passage, so to speak, but because I remember as a kid thinking it was like so funny, my parents having to be like, can you stop?
and like you as a kid, you're like, what's the problem?
Yeah, but I thought it was so funny.
I thought you liked Sugar Honey Iced Tea. You drink it every morning.
That scene did land pretty well for me. I mean, the music helped. The music definitely helped. Like it's a generic music choice, but when it's very clear that it's going south, that's when it becomes funny.
Yeah. Marty.
No, it's specifically Marty, Alex, Marty, Alex, Marty, and then Sugar Honey Iced Tea. Marty, I'll kill you.
Say what you want about this movie. The comedy's great.
Oh my God.
We were talking about Alex, but the comedy and the great.
I guess the reason why I like Alex more than I like Marty is just because I think Alex is funnier.
Yeah, I agree. Because his suffering is funny.
His suffering is a lot funnier, and like I don't want to. I think Ben Stiller did a great job. I think he really did. I think Chris Rock did not do a good job.
I mean, I feel like the role didn't give him much to do.
Fair. That's honestly a good, but a lot of it just felt very, like, standard.
Yeah, like you said, it was originally Marty's story, and then it wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, I would argue as soon as they're out of the zoo, it's not his story anymore.
that's like when it starts to become Alex's. That's the transition.
Yeah. And then he just becomes a side character, like the best friend. And yeah, he's happy, he gets what he wants, and they do work off together pretty well, but overall his character's not that interesting.
Yeah.
Some of the dialogue choices that felt forced. I don't know if it was his decision or if it was the writer's decision, but like some of the stuff where he's saying like this place is off the chain and you the cat. Has fucking showed up so many times. I cannot believe nobody said you the ogre.
You the fish.
You the fish. You the bug. Little bug.
That little spider that goes like, well, how to do?
I hate spiders.
10 out of 2. It looks like Monsters Inc.
It does.
Yeah, kinda. I like that spider. I hate spiders a lot, but that spider was funny.
Yeah, he was, and they were very, very polite.
It said Southern hospitality.
Yeah. In Madagascar.
For the main cast, it's Melman.
Like, oh God, there's no counter. Like absolutely.
The rest is like, it's fine at best. But it's specifically like Melman, like, it's fear all over again. That's what it is.
Yes. I'm glad you said that. Yes.
It's the hypochondriac all over again. Just thinking of it like all the different ways that this could go horribly wrong.
Yeah, there's so many great jokes with him. Like did you see Alex with
different union violations?
No. It's 26, and then they're having an argument. 27.
My favorite, one of the best jokes, even for Melman early on in the zoo, is like you see Alex with steak, the others with a bunch of different food, and then Melman just has a bunch of pills.
Oh, I'm in heaven. No, but later on, when they're having like the because like they're having a talk of it, like, where can we go that's out in the open? Connecticut? And then that took off. That was Melman's suggestion. It's like, wow, okay. But
I don't know how much of my. I'm so sorry. I don't know how much of my mic picked up of that. That was gross. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It'll be funny.
Not only that, but they're having like the argument, and like Alex is saying like, well, what could Connecticut have to offer us? Melman's like, Lyme disease. Thank you, Melman. That was one of the few jokes from the beginning that I really liked.
Or when like he finds out that Marty's gone, he goes to Alex and he was like, I got up for my 2:00 bathroom break because I have to always go every night, and I don't normally look over at Marty's thing, but I just happened to look over it today. And Alex is like, what are you saying? My favorite, it's obviously my favorite joke is San Diego. Like, that's just lives in my head rent free. But if we could talk about that box scene real quick, when he wakes up and Alex is like, we're going to the wild. The wild? I can't go to the wild. I have a scheduled MRI at 2:00.
And I am not going HMO. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I'm not going HMO. That's like, at this point in my life, ouch. That is.
Yeah.
That is.
I still don't know what HMO means.
I'll tell you when you're older.
We have the same birthday.
Gloria's like, there's nothing like wrong with Gloria, but she has. I found out like afterwards that like the film originally had a like a B plot where Gloria was going to be pregnant and would like give birth to a baby on Madagascar, and Melman, who has a crush on Gloria, raises the baby as his own.
Well,
I guess I'm like the test audiences said no, and like, yeah, I'm glad.
Yeah.
But also, they did have a replacement, so they have nothing to do in this film except for like Melman being Melman. Again, like, there's nothing like bad about her. You know, she's like the motherly figure, which is, you know, roll your eyes at. But it's nothing like offensive. It's just like nothing much like happens with them in terms of plot. They're at the same spot that they were at the beginning of the film. You know.
I'll still just defend Melman because like the jokes were just that good, and the animation especially on him was exquisite. Gloria, she gets good jokes, and she is definitely like. This is definitely not. If anything, I would actually say this is a negative of the film. Like, I do think she needs to be there because she does move the plot forward in a few cases pretty well. But if that's the defense, that she's there because she moves the plot forward, like, that's a bad defense.
She's there to, like, tell other people to do this shit.
Yeah.
Anything, she's the voice of reason, which is like, she's like, come on, go talk to Alex, go talk to Marty. Do this shit, you stupid idiot. Pretty much. That is the closest.
And I mean, there is definitely, like you had said, like, Melman was the smart one, Gloria being the voice of reason. Like, there's good irony in that, but the problem is that, unlike Melman, who is just off the chain, Gloria, like, kinda can play the voice of reason pretty straight. It's mostly when she's questioned. That's kind of when it's like, Alex shushes them, Marty gets upset, and she goes, hey, you have to understand, trying to be a voice of reason, and then he tells her to shush, and she goes, don't shush me. Like, funny joke, I laughed, I got a laugh out of that, but the problem is that it's like she's playing the voice of reason a little too well, compared to Melman, who thinks they're on San Diego when they're on Madagascar.
San Diego.
San Diego.
The open plan zoo. Yes, that's what it is.
Wow, those look real.
Yeah, like Melman, even if you don't quite think his jokes are funny, like there's no depth to him, but like the depth of what he's talking about compared to the reality of the situation, as well as his own being fear from inside out. Like there's stuff to talk. There's layers to this, right? With Gloria, I mean, I guess there's like a layer.
Yes,
like a singular, not plural.
Yeah, there's really not much. There's really not much you do with her.
Yeah. I mean, Alex and Marty, I do like Alex. I'm not crazy about Marty, but at least, like, for both the plot and how they work off of each other, like, there's stuff there. I do like how Marty and Alex work off of each other well enough. Again, mostly on Alex's end. But there are a few things that Marty does that it's like, oh, he's bringing this part out in Alex. Okay, like, that's fine. I mean, the way I see it is I love Melman. I like Alex. And then Gloria and Marty are Marty. No, I'm saying that. Gloria and Marty are fine. That's this is the kind of movie where it's like there's a lot in this movie that I don't love, but nothing like jumps out at me as like, oh, I don't like this.
Yeah, I
but
agree.
there is a lot that I'm like, it's good.
I have a very similar problem to this as I did with Chicken Run. That's the best comparison I have.
I was thinking about Chicken Run. I'm comparing these two movies like so much. Yeah.
Because like it's the same thing where it's like I can already feel that we don't have much to say with the characters because like the story isn't very good. But it's riding hard on like the visual inventiveness and the comedy.
Yeah.
And that's the part that like people remember. That's the part we remember as kids, and it's the part that still like kind of hooks us in now. But it especially is like the secondary characters. Those are the ones that really shine in this movie.
Yeah.
We talked about them. We referenced them so many times. The penguins.
Good.
Yep.
Lord.
Those are the stars.
What? Just like on paper, like literally like the earliest stage of concept. What a good idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
Penguins that are trying to escape the zoo to go to Antarctica.
And they're secret agents, secret government ranked agents.
Well, no, it's they're doing like the prison break thing.
Yeah,
where they're just
like Chicken Run.
They're like Chicken Run, yeah.
Oh my god, imagine Chicken Run, the plot was regular, but instead of the rooster, it was just Kowalski. Status report on those chickens.
Kowalski, Skipper, it's disgusting. This penguin just got his head cut off. Ugh.
Oh God, the woman's making chicken pies. Rico, destroy the pie machine.
Private, what did you tell me about this penguin? He's American.
We're American, Private.
The locals.
Okay, here we go again. We're literally just immediately. We talked about the penguins literally for like 5 seconds.
There's not as much to say about the penguins other than they're just so fucking funny.
But they are. That's the thing. They are.
I think I like that. With the designs, they're all penguins.
Yeah.
But they do a decent enough job of designing them to be just distinct enough that you can kind of pick them apart. Because we have Skipper, we have the tall one is Kowalski, right?
Yes.
Yes. We know that all the time. He goes, Kowalski, status report.
The tiny one is Private, and the middle one that's smart and silent is Rico. Voiced by Jeffrey Katzenberg.
No!
Yeah.
It's an uncredited role. All he does is
I didn't
grunt.
actually know it was uncredited.
Yeah, he doesn't show up in the credits. If he did, I would have screamed.
Honestly, yeah.
But all he does is grunt. But they kept putting in. And also the Skipper himself is voiced by the co-director of the film, who I found an interview where he said straight up that what Brad Bird did to Edna Mode, that's what I'm doing here.
Yep, I totally see that.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, Edna Mode absolutely crushed it.
Tom McGrath doing his best Robert Stack impression, which is. We saw, if you remember, Robert Stack as what's his name? Rex Kramer from Airplane.
Yeah.
And let me just tell you, when the going gets tough,
when the going gets tough, you have your private to rely on. Oh, thank you, Skipper. This joke has been in my head for 5 minutes, so I just want to get it out. When they're on the boat and they knock the human out, and Skipper goes, Kowalski, navigation, where are we? He just turns around and goes, He
looks to the left of the map, looks to the right.
But they did figure out, go south.
Yes, eventually they figured go south. It's that simple. Just go south.
Yeah, they're able, and I love how they're able to find out the password by just literally stepping on buttons.
I got it,
Skipper. I did it! Oh, God. And then they get there, and then they get what they want. They get to Antarctica.
Yep, the longest beat, and then...
Well, this sucks! And I love how Private says that.
Yeah. That's cute. I like that a lot, too.
And then they come back here.
Yeah, they find their way to Madagascar. Now, this is more like it. What happened to all the humans? We killed them and ate their flesh.
Ate their livers.
Ate their livers.
And ate their livers. Oh, my God, what did I say?
Yeah, gotcha. And then the big pause. Gotcha, didn't I?
The people are fine. And they just high five.
They high five each other like they told the best joke.
We sent them on a boat to China.
God, I love them so much.
It's more Kronk than Robert Stack. But
I know this because I just have to heighten the voice to do an impression.
No,
you didn't see anything.
For me, it's Skipper. That's who the voice is. And It's one of those cases where just like Edna Mode, he was just doing like voice, and they just couldn't think of anybody else to do the voice except the director.
Yeah.
So
even when they're in the beginning scene, like when Marty encounters the penguins and tells them about the wild, and like he always busting out of here. That's the best part of that whole scene.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Where are we going? To Antarctica.
Oh no! Earlier it was just like, what continent is? Manhattan.
Manhattan.
Hoover Dam. We're still in New York.
Aboard.
Dive.
Or no, like the very first joke, Kowalski status report. We're not finished digging the tunnel, and we're all out of shovels, and he just throws up a broken spoon. Like, we talked about Monsters, Inc. before. That's Mike's plan worked. Using only spoons.
Spoons.
We've been at it out, boys. That's like, they're like so full of themselves that they think that it's about them.
Yeah, exactly. I love that.
Most of the quotable lines from this movie are.
Well, I mean, this movie has a lot of quotable lines, but so many of them are from the Penguins.
Yes. Even like in the end, like when this whole like scene with the Fusa and the friends are having, even the Penguins join in and they're like, and they're having.
It's been an honor working with you, boys.
It's been an honor working with you, boys.
The kitty loves the fishies.
Like the whole thing is that it's like everything is an adventure, even when it's not.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about the lemurs next?
Not as good as the Penguins, but I don't know, still entertaining enough.
I think they're more hits than misses for me. I was surprised to see that, like, I guess because he wasn't as big of a star then, but Sacha Baron Cohen as King Julian, like when I saw like behind the scenes stuff, he's like nowhere. They list Andy Richter before they without ever listing Sacha Baron Cohen, and he's pretty like major into this. And I also found out that like he's only supposed to have like 2 lines, but when they were like doing the recording sessions, he just kept talking for like. He kept improvising for like 8 minutes, and it's like, well, shit. I guess we gotta find something more to do with this. So it's like a lot of the jokes are just like really odd and fun. That like the like when Alice bites Marty, and King Julian's like, what did a simple bite on the monk first? Here, give me a nipple.
Maurice, can't you see you're insulting the freak?
or like Maurice is like he's trying to like sound doubt and said, Maurice, you did not raise your hand, therefore your heinous comments will be stricken from the record. And they point to a chameleon. It's like literally like licks out the stenography.
You saying a lot of those lines were improvised. Some of the number one, because I felt that, so I feel validated. But the number one line that was like, oh, this was improvised very early on when Mort grabs his leg. He says like, oh, my leg, and then something happens again, and Mort grabs his leg again. He goes, what did I tell you about the leg? Get off! I'm like, that was improvised. You can't convince me otherwise.
Or like when he gives up at the very end, like he gives away his crown and says, "It's okay, I got a bigger crown." Go on it. Oh, look at the go, baby, go.
They probably just pulled like what they did in Robin Williams, where like, okay, just animate whatever the hell he says.
Yeah.
Have fun with it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Especially if he only had a couple lines in the original like draft or whatever, and then they just kept going. Like, I believe it.
He kind of has the purpose and kind of doesn't. He's a connection to the lemurs and like that initial sort of scheme of like protection. And I guess it's only going to be like later on, or if he even shows up later on, I don't know.
He shows up in the show. That's all I know.
That's what I
haven't seen 2 in years, so I can't tell you.
This is the only one of the Madagascar films I saw, honestly, so I'm going to be.
I saw like a little bit of 2, but that's about it. And I can tell you, the Penguins are in everything.
Yeah, well, they have to be.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. But anyway, I feel like I was taking that I liked Julian and Maurice. Well, I liked them. I definitely felt that they were better than like most of the main cast. That's
Mort is adorable, but barely does anything.
I was thinking that Mort, and based on what Wash said earlier, I would assume they don't like Mort. I was surprised. I did not think I would be laughing at Mort as much as I was. But Mort was like, good. I would say after the Penguins and Melman, like they're the top 2, like easy. Like below them, just in terms of laughs, I would put Mort.
Yeah.
I thought Mort was really funny. I thought I would hate Mort. But I'm like, this is funny.
Yeah, I was fully expecting to just find him annoying because it was just so it's like designed to be annoying, but like maybe I was just like really tired because like when I saw this movie, I had a really long day. I was just totally exhausted, and like the scene was like Alice scares Morty, starts like crying and sobbing, and then Gloria's like, "Oh, did the big bad putty tat scare you?" And Morty's like, Morty takes his
Morty.
I know I said Morty.
Oh, jeez, Gloria.
and Mort shakes his head, and then he raises his arms up to be picked up. I went hysterical. I don't remember ever finding that funny, but that got me hysterical. Like this is so.
My favorite.
When King Julian is like, we need to see if they're good or bad. We need a guinea pig, and they just throw Mort out there.
My favorite thing is like just before, like a second, you hear it just go, no.
Yeah.
Like right before he's getting thrown out.
Yeah.
And then again, I don't know if Alex makes this funny or Mort does or both, but just when he goes, "Hi there," and he just starts crying, and then he just keeps saying more thing, and then he screams. He's like, "Ah!"
Like I'll give credit. Like Andy Richter did a pretty damn good job with the voice of Mort. Like I didn't even realize it was Andy Richter until I found out afterwards. Like it's especially like how much they just kept saying like "shut up, Mort," and he's just going like it's just like stupid. And it made I kind of like that.
Yeah, no, me too.
It was a cute character done right.
Yeah, I know, crazy.
Well, I wouldn't call him cute.
He's ugly cute.
Yeah, he's ugly cute.
There's ugly cute, that's Mort, and then there's cute ugly, which is Baby Dory.
Oh. I mean, I'm mad at you for putting that image in my head, but also you're right. So you had quickly brought up Maurice. What do we think of Maurice?
He's fine.
Yeah, he's okay.
He's
so this
a good
is like,
voice of reason.
I don't know how much of the credit to give to him because this is a very unfortunate role to have. In a world of insanity, he's the straight man.
Yeah.
And I think he enhances every scene that he's in. So it's like, I gotta give him some credit. But I do agree that, like, he's just fine. But I also acknowledge that, like, if he was anything else, the movie would be worse.
Yeah.
So he's a little hard for me to, like, properly talk about him, you know?
Every other lemur, it's just, like, an insane, like, mob.
Yeah.
Hey, where are the people? Oh, I can tell you where the people are. They're up there.
Oh my god, that joke. Oh my god.
So dark.
I can kind of see like why your parents were upset, Claire, because like there's so many of these jokes that is like the dead pilot, the help sign that falls down to say hell. Great job.
Great job. Especially because like framed in the center is just like the most upset, grumpy Alex.
Yeah. It's a really nice shot. Like, it looked really good.
Oh, you can definitely tell that the studio that worked on the good CG movies worked on this one.
Yep, you can.
Yeah. It's like, the directors also had, like, you know, a lot of animation credit. They're like, oh, and you know what? That's a good transition. Is this, like, the first true, like, cartoony CGI film? Because, like, yeah, like you remember that like for so many of like CGI, like the holy grail was like, you know, photorealism. That was so much of what Shrek was. But like this is one where they decided to just go like just crank it in the opposite direction and go specifically for like, you know, Tex Avery, Bob Clampett, Looney Tunes.
Yeah. Like all the way, and that's, I mean, I could think of, I mean, even like Shark Tale tried. It definitely failed. But part of the reason that it failed was that it didn't go hard enough. Also, wasn't very well animated. But this was definitely, I agree that this could very well be the first one that was just like, we're gonna make this like a 2D, but we're gonna use, obviously, CG. And I think it worked so well.
Especially like the like the timing of it, like they really try to sell like the squash and stress. I mean, squash and stress is like everywhere.
Yeah, but like this is like 2D slapstick.
Yeah, this is straight up like slapstick. there's a shot where Melman is still inside the really tall box, and he falls onto Alex, and it does that thing that they do in like Tom and Jerry, where it's like it lands on him, and then it like bounces up, and he's just like a little bit into the ground, and then it lands on him a second time. There's that follow up that makes it like really like snappy. Again, like I think we mentioned like we mentioned like the Looney Tunes comparison with Disney, but this is the one where they actually go, because usually like before it was just like, oh, we're the witty sardonic side to
Warner Brothers,
the witty alternative to Disney. This is like with the slapstick alternative to Disney.
This is where that dialogue that they had, because I mean I'm not saying like, you know, this isn't like Shrek in terms of dialogue, right? But this is still more than capable of meeting that Warner Brothers standard while having the Warner Brothers slapstick. If you like condense the movie, like I could kind of see this working as like a one-off Warner Brothers thing, kind of. Like this definitely has that vibe, that energy.
Yeah, like I was like looking through like the contemporary CGI films at the time, and like the closest I can really think of is like maybe like Chicken Little, and that's like later that year.
Yeah,
but that didn't even come out yet.
And like it's kind of a stretch. Like I see what you mean. Chicken Little definitely has roots there, but it has the Shark Tale problem where it just didn't. Well, again, poorly animated, but it also has that problem where it didn't go far enough. Like it still held back. This movie, they were just like, nah.
They're going to like places that just don't make sense.
Yeah.
And that's what Looney Tunes very much is.
Yeah, like
it's just.
I mean, just watch Alex. Forget the other characters. Just watch Alex, and that tells you everything.
During the Wonderful World montage, he like falls down a hill. And it's like, ooh, ah, he falls on rocks. Ooh, ah, he falls on flowers. Ah. And then he falls on cactus. Ah, ooh, ah, oh, ah. Like that's Bugs Bunny.
Yeah,
yeah. It's so great.
It's so good.
One thing I didn't notice until I didn't notice the kid animation wise, and it's very subtle. It's when Alex goes wild. Like you see his eyes change.
Yeah.
I never caught that as a kid until now.
I think I did, but what I like is that for me at least, it is subtle enough. Like they aren't like constantly talking about it to where it's just like, all right, we get it. But at the same time, it's like it's clear enough to where it's like, you know, noticeable, but it's subtle enough. Like it's not like on my 6th rewatch, you know what I noticed? It's like, oh, cool.
I don't know. It's like one of the rare moments of subtlety in the film.
And I mean, Madagascar is just insane, but it knows when to be like, take a break. That's what I like about it. The breaks aren't long, you know. It's not, you know, before you know it. Even again during the more emotional moments, you know, Alex falls on cactus, the duck gets crunched by the alligator. Like, you know, this goofy stuff is still happening, but
yeah.
Even when like Alex goes wild and he's about to attack his friends, you see his mind point of view where everyone turns into space.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And it's especially like blunk, blunk, blunk. The way that they like transform each time. Yeah.
I'm not Steak, right? Yes, you are.
Yeah.
No, huh?
Oh yeah. It's great. And then you see them animated as steaks, and the steaks look cartoony too. Like,
I'm very happy. It was one of those things where it's like, I mean, I wasn't like starving when I watched this, but I wasn't full. You know, I was hungry enough. And I remember there being steaks, and I'm like, I mean, this is 2005. They probably won't look that good. And then I saw them, and I'm like, this is what I would want a 2005 steak to look like.
Honestly, God, yeah.
Like it is like, and that's the other thing with like the snappy animation is that the design is super stylized.
Yes.
Like that's another thing that like where like Shark Tale like fails.
Absolutely.
Because like the style sucks so bad. In
what style?
Yeah.
What style?
Like this one is very like this is very clearly like it came out of like drawings, like especially like Marty's nose, like the jagged spiral that he has in his nose, like it's very clearly like an idea like very much like had like 2D animation design. Like you get the idea of a nose. It doesn't have to look quite like it.
There's technically no real villain in this movie. Like there's the Fusa, but that's about it.
It's man versus self. That's what
yeah.
That's the conflict.
Or animal versus self in this case.
Yeah. But it's very much about like trying to trying to have a realization about your own your own like needs and like trying to balance that your own needs as a lion, which I can relate to.
I'm just happy there's no like evil lemur villain being like, I'm going to take over Madagascar.
Oh, yeah. All we need to do is get rid of Alex and we'll take over. Marty, did you hear Alex saying that he would like to eat you? No way, when he chomped my butt, it was by accident. Chomp's butt again. Alex, are you not our friend?
I never thought I'd see the day where you would bite my butt. No, he has his hand on his butt. What?
Yeah, what?
You're biting my butt.
No, I'm not.
No, I'm not.
That was one I remember from the trailers too.
This one, like I always remember, is just like a cute little thing where it's like the first time, like before the butt bite, like when he's like he's like sleeping and like dreaming about he's doing the American Beauty parody, and he he wakes up and he's licking Marty, and then he goes like 27, 28, 29. Oh, so I guess you're white with black stripes after all. Oh, good night. And like everyone like slowly goes to bed, and Marty just had this like realizing like, I feel complete.
Yeah, because you remember at the beginning of the movie, he was like, I don't even know if I'm black with white stripes or white with black stripes.
You see, Maurice, he's just grooming his friend.
He's just grooming his friend.
Just grooming his friend.
I think he was trying, and then he was like, we will wait for them to fall asleep, and it will be great. And then it cuts. How long is this going to take?
And then they turn around, and like it's so clear that all the lemurs are still in the tree, but they're like hiding well enough that everyone's just like, whatever. Oh, whatever. Have you? When they wake up and they're with the lemurs, and the lemurs just like pick them up from like the sand. They just like moved literally like it's like a Sims kind of game where you just selected the object and moved it.
I noticed that. I was like, how did they move? Lemurs are powerful.
Yeah,
Working numbers.
I did mention like at the very start that like I thought that like especially in the intro like the animation felt stiff. It did feel like they were still like rushing to get this one out.
And your cat agreed with you. I hear the cat.
Yeah.
Your cat is a fan of Alex the Lion.
Oh, true, yeah. Yeah, the crowd goes wild. I know, I thought the beginning of the movie looked fine, but I mean, I guess I agree. Once they leave and they like, they're in New York City, it definitely got better.
Yeah.
Do you remember like the shot where Skipper takes the Alice cup to like cover up the pipe, and he just like rotates? He rotates like a robot.
Yeah,
it was so strange. Like what? I don't know that like this is what they were planning to do. It looked like they hadn't finished that shot yet.
Yeah.
Question: what did you?
No. I was just gonna say I could like literally just I could see that. Like that's it.
What did you think of the humans?
The old lady I love.
Yes.
They have the one joke I'll give them was the Martus is like she was talking with the police horse. Walked away.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
The zebra right in front of the zebra. Yeah, it's right in front of me. Could I shoot it? Negative.
God,
oh my god!
Why did that joke age so well?
God,
that joke age so well.
Oh man, that's like the second like horse adjacent joke that we've had with DreamWorks.
What is with DreamWorks and horses?
And that specific allegory.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know what
damn you, Jeffrey Katzenberg.
I don't know what Jeffrey Katzenberg has against horses, but you know what he does have something against?
The timer.
Oh, the timer.
Well, oh my, okay, so there's a lot of answers.
I
was just going to say, there's a lot of answers I can give to that, but I don't want to get too political because the timer.
We'll move on.
Yeah.
That's fine.
All right, final thoughts.
The timer, can I shoot it?
Positive.
Overall, I liked this more than I expected to, but at the same time, I didn't like this as much as I expected to. Mainly, the big problem is story. Like, the main cast is kind of weak for me. The Alice subplot is like semi-interesting, but really the star is the secondary characters and the comedies surrounding all that. Like I said, I compare this. I was thinking a lot about Chicken Run during this, and I ultimately I felt that like this is not as good as Chicken Run, because I felt that like Chicken Run had like some more of the inventive like comedy going on with it. But it's the other thing is that like we didn't have as much to say on like characters because it's the comedy. It's the visual inventiveness, it's the snappy animation that just kind of drives all the it's fun enough that I'm not gonna like turn my nose on it. It doesn't get like annoying like how I was feeling with Road to El Dorado. Like it's good. It's good.
I originally was like dreading watching this because I put it off the last minute because I didn't think I would like it. I was pleasantly surprised. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, the story does have its issues. Yeah, the Gloria kind of has nothing to do, and Marty's a little meh. But honestly, I still had fun with this. It may be because I was watching in the middle of the night, but it was still like a lot of fun to watch. I was enjoying it and laughing out loud at the risk of waking up my parents. But it was really had fun. A lot of the jokes made me laugh. I enjoyed Alex. I enjoyed Melman. Oh my god. One scene that we didn't mention with Melman where he's like, I can't do the fire. I can't do it. Fire. And then eventually he freaks out and then burns everything. That was great. Melman is probably my favorite character in this, as he should be. And everyone else was just like, and the penguins were great. The lemurs were great. It was like it was like joke after joke after joke. Some of them hit, some of them missed, but there was still joke after joke. And it was really refreshing and a lot of fun. And I had fun watching this again. I have a soft ranking, and as of now, I think it's above Shrek by a little bit.
Really?
Shrek 1, not Shrek 2. No.
Well, yeah, I figured that, but like, I'm surprised that it's higher than Shrek.
Yeah, it may change. Honest to God, like, it's barely above it because one lacks in, the other makes up in. Like, Shrek doesn't have as much as in joke after joke, but has a great story. Vice versa with Madagascar. No, yeah, does have a great story for Shrek. Madagascar doesn't. Yeah. You know what I mean. I want to watch it again probably, and it may change. It's that narrow close, but it's definitely up there in the soft rankings.
So this has been a real tough one for me because so much of my experience rewatching it was, oh my god, I remember this, and I'm not. You talked to me about the word nostalgia for 5 minutes, and you're like, you need to calm down. But the concept of nostalgia for me, it's fine. Reliving childhood memories, it's fine. But like saying, oh, I have nostalgia for this, it's good. Like, it's something that drives me crazy. Like, enjoy new things, please. So I try not to let myself get super nostalgic for things. But when Madagascar was my life, like, it really was. So much of me just hooked on Madagascar. So this was really hard for me to properly rank. But I think talking about it really did just kind of reaffirm that, no, this isn't just because I liked this movie a lot when I was a kid. It holds up. It is really funny, fantastically animated. I would go as far, alright, you thought You thought Random saying this movie was potentially, he liked it more than Shrek. Here is my hot take. This movie is even better animated than something like Prince of Egypt. Like, this is so up my alley for what I want out of a comedy. It's so snappy, so stylish, so weird. Again, we talk about like the montage just being sped up the second time. It's all so weird, but it's exactly what I want. It fits so well up my alley in terms of what I find funny. Even I totally admit, I'll be the first to admit, the story, not bad, not good. It's neither. It's in the middle. It's not terrible. Not too bad. Not too bad. Serviceable, I guess. This is like a great way to describe Madagascar for me. When it's being serviceable, it's good enough. When it's not being serviceable, it's incredible. That's this movie to me, which, as a whole, I can acknowledge that kind of results in a movie that's just like, kind of, sort of, almost great at best. But I had so much fun with it. Like, when I finished watching it, I was like, oh yeah, I think I might rank this below Ants, but I was thinking about it, and it's like, while I was watching this, I was like, above Prince of Egypt. Like, I was just having so much, and now that we talked about it, I'm going to put it, because I also have a list, I'm going to put it below Shrek and above Chicken Run. I was thinking of Chicken Run a lot, and I had it below Chicken Run, but again, talking about it, it's just like, no, this movie holds up. It's, and I mean, I'm thinking, like, the more movies we watch, like, I could just think more positive of it. I don't know, like, it's one that I've been sitting on, and while I think it's probably just going to land, like, like, right below Shrek, that's good. I just had so much fun. I'm a broken record, I'll keep saying it, but what a fun time. I'm so glad this movie holds up just because of how much I loved it when I was a kid. And I love it as an adult for totally different reasons and the exact same reasons.
Wash, do you have a soft ranking for it?
It's a little bit underneath Chicken Run. It's not as good as Chicken Run.
Oh, okay, all right.
So if you want to put it in the list between Chicken Run and Road to El Dorado.
Okay,
nice.
Yeah.
So like it's actually like straight in the middle. It's number 5.
Okay.
It's my top 5 favorite DreamWorks film.
Number 4 will shock you. Also, if we're talking favorite character, I don't have a favorite character. I have 4. Skipper,
yes.
Kowalski, Rico, Private.
Is it weird that one of your favorite characters is voiced by Jeff?
He's our good friend Jeff. Of course it's not weird. It is kind of weird that this spawned such a big franchise.
Yeah, like, you wouldn't think
like Shrek,
it was.
I get. We'll get to something like How to Train Your Dragon, or even ones that we aren't going to like as much, like Boss Baby and Trolls. Like, I get how they became franchises. But Madagascar was always, like, a little weird to me, other than the penguins, but, like, they were only the star of, like, a show in a movie. Like, 2 and 3 are still about the zoo characters, so the main characters of this movie. So it's just a little weird that, like, this became a big franchise. Like,
and the weird thing is, I don't think a lot of the movies take place in Madagascar.
Oh, really?
I mean, we'll find.
I mean, the second one is called Escape to Africa.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, technically, Madagascar is off the coast of Africa, so they're like right back where they started. But I like before watching it, I was like, why is this such a huge franchise? Because it seems like such a small story, like a very small, simple story. But like, the ending is kind of like where do you want to go next? Let's go to Fiji. It was clear that they were trying to set something up here. It's like, oh, we can have these characters go anywhere. Just don't tell them that there's no gas left in the ship.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave. So up next is interesting.
Yeah, what is next? I actually don't know.
We're going back to the wonderful land of the UK. Not for a movie. I think we could say this. If we can't, you could cut it out. But we're going back to Aardman for Wallace and Gromit.
Yes,
that's right.
Before we get to the movie, we are going to watch the Wallace and Gromit shorts.
I can double check, but I was the one that suggested this because like I felt like we needed some context into Wallace and Gromit because it was already like a big franchise before it's got its feature film. So I just kind of want to like when we get to there, we're gonna have a discussion on the films. I think there were 3 of them before the movie, and there's like a 4th one that's like technically like after, but like whatever. It's not going to take a long time to watch these shorts.
Yeah.
We'll talk about them next time.
Next time.
Just like even the cat's excited. All right, in that case, Kowalski, plug.
It's no use. I can't crack the code.
I can't do a Kowalski impression all of a sudden.
Rico, plug.
Perfect.
If you like what you listen to, you can go to our Twitter page. We can go to our Twitter page, twitter.com/WRK podcast, and we'll let you know when the next episode comes out. If the evil Rocket Man doesn't shut it all down for us. And you can also go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/WRK podcast, and please post a comment. We really appreciate those. And also, I feel like I'm going into like Ringo, and maybe that's not what it's supposed to be.
Private, what are you turning into?
Skipper, I've got the plug. You can go to simplecast.com/PixarSpective.
It's not simple. It's not that.
It's not Simplecast. It's SoundCloud. Shoot.
SoundCloud.
I just got Kowalski fired.
And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that like button.
What was that? Oh, Skipper. Okay.
Again.
It's just an octave.
I felt like I was like being serenaded by random bystander here. That's what it felt like to me.
This was terrible.
Well, this
sucks. I am the wash.
I'm random bystander.
I'm Clay.
All right.
See you next time for a technically bonus episode of Living the DreamWorks. We're off to UK. Toodly-doo. Cheerio.
Bye.